So, I get it. I get it. You guys are mad. I gave you the expectation of Pen Best deck, and I haven't been playing Pendulum. I get it. Let me tell you something. Pen's still best deck. So, today, you guys, for our local diaries, we are going to be going back to Pendulum, this time with a different Pendulum build than I have debuted on the channel. So most of, all the Pendulum decks I've played have been Ignite or Draco Slayer. So today, we're actually going to change that up a bit. I do have more Pendulum decks, and today we're going to be showcasing Vaylantz. After seeing someone play it last week, I am going to throw my hat in the ring and actually give it a try. So, for today's challenge, and probably for further locals at holiday specifically, we're going to be taking Pendulum to see how well we can do before Age of Overloard drops out, and we can get the new support that I am dying to see for my Pendulum decks. So without further ado, let me show you the deck profile, and then let's head on over to locals. Alright, you guys, so let me show you off our Vaylantz deck profile for today. So for the main deck, we start off with 3 Vaylantz Buster Barons, 3 Shinano the Vaylantz Priestess, 3 Hojo the Vaylantz Warriors. So these are the main 3 that you want to see, especially Shinano, because that gets you access to any of your Vaylantz spells, and then if it's moved, then it gets you into Vaylantz monsters, which comes up if you're wanting to search for the Hojo. If you open up these 2, you pretty much have a full combo essentially. So that's it for like our main Vaylantz. Then we do accompany it with a whole bunch of other different name Vaylantz monsters. So we do play 3 Nazuki the Vaylantz Ninja, 2 Seon the Vaylantz Archer, 3 Mad Marquis, 2 Dominator Dukes, and 2 Voltage Viscounts. So these are the other names that you want to play, just for namesake. So they all share the same ability of being placed in the pen scale, and then when they're in their scale, you can activate the effect to special summon them out the zone just above it. For these 9 though, you don't, or at least these 6, sorry. For these 6, you don't need to control like a field spell. You can just special it out, and I believe as well with the Voltage and the Vaylantz Archer, you don't need a field spell or another Vaylantz Fire or Water on their attribute. The only one of these like main monster effects that I really use is the Man Marquis. Man Marquis lets you excavate cards based on a die roll, and then whatever you get on that die roll, you can excavate that amount and then add more Vaylantz. But otherwise, like their monster effects, you might use them if you want to, but that's up to you. Then for just some other Pendulums or monster support, we play 1 Kaiden Kendo Spirit. So we just play it because he's scale 9, and since all of the Vaylantz are all scale 1s, you kind of need a scale 9 or a high scale to be able to pen summon. So we play him as a high scale, since he is searchable off of Beyond the Pendulum. Then we play 2 Mythical Beast Cerberus, 1 Mythical Beast Jackal King, and then 1 Endymion the Mighty Master of Magic. So I might get rid of that down in the long run, but we kind of play an Endymion package. Since Pendulums count as spells, you can pen summon out the Jackal King, and then the Jackal King will just boost up spell counters. So anytime a monster effect is activated, just Jackal King. So it's really great. And then for our last monster, we play Triple Testudo, the Lost Dragon's Prison. This is just kind of a test, since he is just a free tuner, whether he's in your grave or hand. Pay a half special. We're trying something a little different, and this is inspiration from the person that I played last week when he was using Vaylantz. So we'll see how it works. Moving on to our spells, we play 2 Koenig Wiesen and then 2 Shinro Bancho. So those are the 2 field spells. You want to, if you have one in hand, you definitely want more copies in the deck, or if you open up with both of them, because when you activate it, each one lets you place the corresponding to your opponent's field zone. So you want to, if you open up both, you want to have a second copy of the deck. Then next for our spells, we play triple solo activation, and then 2 Vaylantz Wars, place of beginning. So this lets you add a field spell, and this lets you place a Pendulum monster from your deck. You definitely want to keep them more, especially if you want to get Machinodome. And then for some like our last 2 slots, we play 1 Secret Village and 1 Senate Switch. So Secret Village is a sleeper for this deck, because since you do play the Jackal Kings, the Mythical, the Endymion stuff, they're spellcasters. And then all the water Vaylantz are spellcasters. So since a lot of blowout cards are spells, except for evenly matched, this comes in handy. And then Senate Switch. Senate Switch is definitely an older card, but it's an older card that plays very well into this deck, being able to move your Pendulum monsters for their added abilities. And then for our extra deck, we play 1 Arctos 12, Chronochasm Vaylantz, 1 Mamanoka, Vaylantz United, and then 2 Vaylantz Genesis Grand Dukes for our fusions. Since these 2, you contribute to fusion summon into them, so that's really great. You're not having to use Hojo for it. And then Mamanoka is the only occasion you will use Hojo. Honestly, Arctos is probably the better fusion for the deck, because he lets you move monsters in the main monster zone, and then if monsters in the main monster zone move, you can destroy a card on the field. Mamanoka is a great interrupt, being able to move something in your opponent's monster zone back into the spell and trap card zone. And then Vaylantz Genesis Grand Duke lets you bounce stuff from the spell and trap card zone when it's summoned though, so that's the only downside. So if you happen to end on a Hojo, and then yeah, there's combos you can do, but it's a lot harder to pull them off in my opinion. Then for our synchros, we play Baron and Ancient Fairy Dragon. So we play the Ancient Fairy Dragon since it recently got off the list. You know, you'll pop the field spells that you set with the Vaylantz field spells, and then add the Secret Village, and you're gold. So, and then Baron is just a great card up in general. Then for our links, we play 1 IP Masquerena, 2 Beyond the Pendulum, 1 Nightmare Unicorn, 1 Grand Soul Coolio, 1 Black Celestial Soldier, Soldier of Chaos, 1 Apollosa, 1 World Sea Dragon Vaylantz, and 1 Magus Knight, Crusadia Avermax. So I like playing the Grand Soul Coolio, since a lot of your extra deck fusion monsters are all Pendulum monsters. So you typically want to end with the Grand Soul Coolio in the extra monster zone, and then it's pointing to the Chronochasm, and possibly the Mythical Beast stuff. So that way their effects can't be negated, which is really cool. Because Grand Soul Coolio, gains 100 free space of Pendulum monster extra deck, but the activated effects of Pendulum monsters this card points to cannot be negated. So you just have it pointing to those 2, and then boom, you're pretty gold. And then everything else is pretty self-explanatory. IP and Nightmare for removal IP into Mech Knight, Crusadia Avermax, just to have a unbeatable monster. Apollosa negates, and then World Sea Dragon to link off the Apo into Vaylantz. So yeah, that is the extra deck. Moving on to the side, I really couldn't think of things for the side deck, so this is just kind of like whimsical stuff that I stole from Draco Slayer. So we play the 1 Starlight Red Dragon Archfiend just for time. We play Guardian Ariadne and Archfiend Eccentric. You get into counter traps, and then Archfiend just for removal. Play 1 Duster, 1 Zombie World, 1 Necro Valley, just for field spell's sake, being able to search them out. It's really cool. Then we play 2 Herald of the Abyss, just kind of for that spot removal again, if it comes up. Then this is kind of an interesting tech choice, Performapal, Bakaribo, and Foxy Karibo, just for battle phase stuff. Again, this is stuff that I just kind of threw in. You don't know how well it'll work. Then 2 Pot of Desires. I just realized that the sleeves don't match, so that'll change. And then last but not least, Triple Fallen Judgment for the Guiding Ariadne. So yeah, that is the deck profile. So let's head on over to locals and see how we do in today's challenge. End or bust, right? So, what a locals today. So I ended up taking 1-2, taking third place out of 4 people. So not a whole lot of room to test Vaylantz today, but you know, playing round 1, played against Marincess, and that was a struggle to play through all the interruptions, hand trap, etc. that Marincess plays, and we ended up taking the loss there. Round 2, we ended up playing against Exodia, and that one was a bit of a brain teaser as well, having to break their complex stall board and getting rid of their back row, but I was able to manage to just clear the back row and then swing for game. Then game 3, we played against a Dark Magician, and there wasn't much I could do with bad hands, so when my opponent set Dragoon, baited out Dragoon's negate, and I was like, well, I don't got much follow-up after that, so ended up taking the loss there. So overall, I'm not too mad about how Vaylantz performed. There's definitely room for improvement there. It is definitely more a fun, casual deck, which you can definitely pick up for fairly cheap. If you're looking to pick it up, you can definitely drop cards like the Baron, and yeah, I think Baron was the only really expensive card of the deck. You can just drop the Baron and play the Secret 10 Changing, the Sword Soul card, which works pretty good. That is everything for our local diaries today, guys. Remember, if you like the channel, like and subscribe for more content like this coming. We are going to do every Saturday up until Age of Overloard. New Pendulum decks. We've already got our next one cooking. So stay tuned for that one, guys, and we'll catch you in the next one.